Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. I always like starting these off with the Bible verse. Matthew 18, verse 6. But who shall offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Running this across the bottom of the screen. Trigger warning, National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Without further ado, let's get on with this presentation. We're talking about human trafficking in Tennessee. This came across my news break a little bit ago. So I need to share this and remind people this is fair use. This is human trafficking in Tennessee unearthing a silent epidemic. The reason why we say silent, pretty much because a lot of people are being silent about it. A lot of people want us to hush, to keep it covered up. A lot of people don't know what a lot of other people are going through during these times. Photo by Jenna Hammer Pexels. With its picturesque landscapes and rich cultural heritage, Upper East Tennessee grapples with a grim and less publicized challenge, human trafficking. While Sullivan, Hawkins, Cook, and Greene counties find themselves vulnerable, understanding the broader context is essential in addressing this menace. What is human trafficking? Human trafficking is often described as modern day slavery, where victims are coerced, deceived, or forced into labor or commercial sex acts against their will. Traffickers exploit their victims' vulnerabilities from economic hardships to emotional dependencies. It's a multi-billion-dollar criminal industry that denies freedom to over 20 million people globally. The big picture, Tennessee's unwanted trafficking corridor. With its vast highway networks and central locale, Tennessee has become a strategic hub for traffickers. Interstate networks, especially I-40, I-24, and I-75, coupled with vulnerabilities like opioid addiction, socioeconomic challenges, and homelessness, paint a grim scenario. So I need to change this over. You will not be able to hear me speak. I do not mind showing how this goes because if you ever get StreamYard, you might need to know these settings. First, I have to take it away from there and put it to
Engage Together uses the power of data to shine a light on the strategies and resources needed to expose human trafficking where it hides. Supported by Click and Pomerol partners, Engage Together created a transformational community assessment and mapping tool that visually unifies disparate resources and exposes previously siloed efforts in order to fully engage communities so they can bring every available tool to bear in support of those most at risk. With data as the catalyst, Engage Together is at the forefront of stamping out insidious human crimes that strike at the very safety, health, and dignity of millions of people worldwide.
Recognizing the signs of human trafficking, controlled communication, victims often aren't allowed to speak for themselves. Their answers appear scripted or rehearsed. Fear and distrust. They might appear scared, submissive, or display signs of paranoia. Poor living conditions. They live in degrading, unsuitable, or overcrowded places. Lack of personal belongings. They have no access to their identification or travel documents. Unusual hours and restricted movement. Victims might work excessively long hours or in isolated environments where they aren't free to come and go as they want. Delving deeper, insights from Engage Together. Engage Together's comprehensive study in collaborative, excuse me, start all over. Engage Together's comprehensive study in collaboration with partners like the TBI Human Trafficking Task Force unveiled Upper East Tennessee's vulnerabilities. Ashley Chapman, Engage Together's founder and CEO, pinpointed various underlying causes such as domestic violence and drug offenses, exacerbating the situation. Here are the results of the Upper East Tennessee portion of the project summary. The Upper East region of Tennessee is at severe risk of human trafficking. Current anti trafficking efforts are highly concentrated on raising awareness and providing aftercare support and services. Nonprofits carry the overwhelming majority of the weight, and current programs and services primarily support youth and or adult victims of sex trafficking. Top 5 recommendations. Strengthen efforts to identify victims of both labor and or sex trafficking by training all those in a position to recognize and respond to it. Prioritize those who are already supporting vulnerable populations. Increase victim advocate programs, temporary shelters, and immediately accessible services for all victims of human trafficking. Mobilize businesses, churches, civic clubs, and professional associations to partner with local efforts and meet individual needs in their area. Improve outreach efforts to vulnerable populations to empower them with the knowledge they need to stay safe or self report. build pathways to success for survivors of labor or sex trafficking by increasing reintegrative programs and supports and by engaging businesses and educational institutions as partners in this effort. Of note, the Upper East region has the most active effort to address labor trafficking in the state. These efforts are currently concentrated on raising community awareness and conducting trainings, outreach to at risk populations, and services to support labor trafficking victims still need strengthening. The greatest risk factors for human trafficking in the Upper East region are local environment vulnerabilities, which include the prevalence of sexual assault, domestic violence, drug offenses, and related crimes, followed closely by socioeconomic vulnerabilities, which include the prevalence of those experiencing poverty and food or housing insecurities, and also youth vulnerabilities, which include the prevalence of chronically absent, homeless, justice involved, and or disconnected youth and minors with disabilities. Whatever can be done to decrease the prevalence of these vulnerabilities and support those experiencing them will have a direct, immediate and positive impact on preventing human trafficking. If you are at Facebook, feel free to come on over to the YouTube channel if you want to comment, where I'll be able to see your comment and talk with you about it. The risk assessment: 11 of the 21 counties in the East region have a greater than 60% vulnerable population index score, which indicates risk for the presence of human trafficking, with the top 10 counties of concern being, see that right there? 11 of the 21 counties in the East region have a greater than 60% vulnerable. Not good at all. Cook County, 94.7%. Anderson, 93.7%. Knox, 91.6%. Sullivan, 82.1%. Jefferson, 80.5%. Hamlin, 80.5%. Campbell, 78.9%. Hawkins, 77.9%. Sevier, 76.8%. And Greene County, 73.7%. How can you help? The ways you can help: y'all might like to take notes, have paper, notebooks around so that you can take notes on this information. I said, how can you help? You stay informed. Knowledge is power. Attend local seminars, workshops, or webinars about human trafficking. You can help by reporting suspicions. If you suspect someone might be a victim, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888 373 7888. You can help to support your local NGOs. Many organizations work tirelessly to rescue victims and rehabilitate them. Offer your time, skills, or resources. Yeah, these are ways to help now. You really want to help, get into it. Advocate. Lobby for stricter laws and policies that deter traffickers and protect victims. In the fight against human trafficking, vigilance and compassion are our strongest allies. It's time for Tennessee and its residents to unite, recognize, and reclaim the lives stolen by the silent epidemic. Some people say it's not a silent epidemic in Tennessee. Everyone that pays attention knows that this is real and horrifying. It's silent because so much goes unnoticed. It's what it's talking about by silence. And we all know that it's hush hush. If it wasn't hush hush, we would be able to see it right there in plain view. We'd be just grabbing the trafficker. They do it in broad light, daylight. Nobody's hidden. They're not willingly just going like, look, I'm trafficking this person. That's what it means by silent. Secretive, hidden, dangerous. Look at this poor girl. Imagine that she was trafficked. Just imagine her. Look at the innocence of her. She needs help. People need help. Are you going to be silent? How are you going to help? What avenues are you going to do? Are you going to just keep talking about it and do nothing? Or are you going to find ways in which you can help? Like it tells you right here that how you can help. There's the ways down here. Stay informed. Knowledge is power. Attend local seminars, workshops, or webinars about human trafficking. Report suspicions. If you suspect someone might be a victim, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Write that number down, y'all. 1-888 373 7888. You might be someone's hero. You might be the last person's voice. You might be the reason a person survives. Support local NGOs. Many organizations work tirelessly to rescue victims and rehabilitate them. There's a lot of like Underground Railroad. Like, have you, who watched Operation for Tim Ballard, where he did rescue people? There's other movies that he's got on his page too, Underground Rescue, our rescue.org. Offer your time, skills, and resources. Advocate, lobby for stricter laws and policies that deter traffickers and protect victims. We need compassion. We need love. We need to not let them grow stronger. We need to fight for our children. We need to fight for our adults, the women, the men, everyone. Lives matter. We need to help. We do not need to keep remaining silent. That is not of God. This vicious criminal activity is not of God. Are you going to be the Christian you claim you're going to be? Are you going to step up to the plate, or are you going to just keep turning your back on it and say, oh, we shouldn't be talking about this? Well, you guess what? You're helping the perpetrator. You're just as guilty of the perpetrator when you do nothing. You're just as guilty because even the Bible says it. So thank you so much. I saw this and knew I needed to get this out there. And God bless you all. God bless the children of the world. Let's not keep it silent. Let's have a voice for these people, kids, for everyone, and for yourself as well.